Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new episode. Today is my JoeFest 2023 wrap-up episode. Now, I do have some clips that I'm still looking through that I might post on YouTube, just stuff that I missed through my big walkthrough video. There was too much stuff to post in one, and I didn't want to make it too long. So there'll be some more stuff coming from that. But this is sort of my wrap-up video where I show you what I purchased while I was at JoeFest. Now, I didn't spend a ton of money, but I did get a few things. So let's just start off by talking about what I got. And the first thing I got was one that I'm missing from the Classified series, which is this guy. I've been missing Crocmaster, and I'm glad I found him. I found him for $25. Apparently some vendor, and I wish I could remember his name, he had like 3 or 4 cases of Crocmaster, so apparently he over ordered that figure, and he had a markdown to 25, so at 25 bucks I couldn't pass him up, and I didn't have him, so I went ahead and got Crocmaster. Next up is a piece that I've been wanting for a while. Not the most expensive piece at all, probably actually one of the cheapest, but I had him as a kid back in 1986. I love this vehicle and the guy that drives it, and I've been looking for him at a decent price. So for $25, I got a complete Havoc without cross country, but I already have cross country, so yay for me. I don't need him now. I still have pieces and parts to this as a kid, and I'll probably swap out those onto this one just because it was the ones I had as a kid. Next up, to continue talking about the vintage stuff that I bought, and again, I'm gonna try to complete my vintage collection. I've got a long way to go, and pretty much I consider, I've been collecting G.I. Joe off and on for a little while, so I have a few things here and there, but I'm really going to start digging into it heavier. Then I bought this Swamp Masher, 15 bucks. I couldn't pass it up. Complete and really cool little video. I mean, little vehicle. I love the way the wheels turn on this thing. Just a really nice piece. Another vehicle that I have been looking for, and it's from the original year of G.I. Joe 1982, which this one I didn't have as a kid. It was one of the only things from that first wave of toys and vehicles that I didn't have, and that's the Hal. This one was complete. Again, 10 bucks. I couldn't pass him up. Just had to have it for 10 bucks. This is one of those things where it was kind of a pack-in deal. I was already buying some stuff, and I just threw it in because it was cheaper, but he threw it in and discounted it heavily because I was buying some other stuff. Next up, I bought a few modern things. I got this Cobra Commander figure that I didn't have anything from this series. So I figured, Cobra Commander looks cool, so I went ahead and picked him up. And then I got the Cyber Ninja from Retaliation. Again, one of those things that, do I have to have it? Well, yeah, he looks cool. It's cool to have ninjas. It's G.I. Joe. And for the price, I figured, why not? I think I paid 10 bucks a piece for these. So. Next up is this $20 Short Fuse. He is complete. Well, I can't remember. I think Short Fuse had the shield over the that went across the helmet. This one doesn't come with it, so I'm probably gonna have to eventually find that shield. But for 20 bucks, he was complete. He looks to be in fairly good condition. Just if there's paint issues with him, just slight over the black here on the chest. That's it. Next up is another straight arm figure that I purchased, Rock and Roll, and of course this one is in pretty decent condition. Again, for 20 bucks. The one thing he is missing is the little piece to his gun, that the little, the V-shaped thing that sits the gun on the ground. I'll have to find that, and that's probably like the most expensive piece, I'm sure. And it'll probably be like the last thing I ever buy for the G.I. Joe set. But this one does have a few paint issues here and there. But Rock and Roll, I had him as a kid, the straight arm version, and I loved Rock and Roll. I don't know if it was the way I was just playing with him, the way he feels like just the chest in your fingers, because he had all those bullets on his chest. I don't know, but I couldn't pass him up for that. Next up was, I did pay a little bit of money for this. I paid $60 for the Spirit, but the shirt, the color, the blue on the shirt looked absolutely great. Most of the time when you see these guys, it's faded blue. It doesn't still have that bright blue color. So I'm thankful for this one. Even the bird has the claws. A lot of times that's missing. I looked at a lot of spirits while I was at JoeFest, and none of them were complete. With the exception of a few the toy department had, but this one was perfect. So, you know, I had to grab him. I didn't have Spirit as a kid. One of my best friends had him, so I always played with him when I went over to his house. Never had this guy. I'm glad I got him. Next up, I stood in line for a little while to meet Larry Hama because, you know, I grew up reading the G.I. Joe comics as a kid, starting with issue 1, because back in the day, 1982, I was all in on G.I. Joe, and started reading the comics with issue 1. When did that come out? Was it 82 or 83? I can't remember. But anyway, actually the first issue I had was like issue 3, and it came in a 3-pack of Marvel comics at like Maxway or something like that. But anywho, I met Larry Hama, got this autographed picture of him from the Snake Eyes movie, and he spelled my name wrong. You know, it's L-E, not E-L. But hey, I'm not going to complain. It's Larry Hama. I told him, I said, I think you spelled it wrong, and then he wanted to give me another one, but this was the last Snake Eyes photo that he had. I said, nah, don't worry about it. It's good. He messed it up. And as long as the Larry Hama part was good, I'm good with it. I'm not going to sell it, but this is going to go framed somewhere in the collection room here. So next up, I stopped by Adam Rich's booth because he, guy who did a lot of the Collectors Club artwork on the packages, and he was having a little deal, buy 4 prints, get the 5th free. So I did that, and of course Crosshair. This is actually, out of all of the Collectors Club prints that he had, this is the only one that I actually have of the actual figure, still carded over there on the shelf. But I bought Crosshair. Worms, awesome. Man, I had the Maggot as a kid. Love this figure, and actually I love the Maggot. Talking about the Havoc before, here is Cross Country. Again, one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite vehicles in the line, so I had to get Cross Country. And finally is Frostbite. So I went with a lot of the classic, like 86 Joes that he had, and then 87 Joes, and then the Crosshair, because I have that Collectors Club figure. But these are actually really cool. I don't know the size of them, maybe 12 inches wide, maybe, and I don't know, 13, 14 inches tall, but I'm going to possibly look at getting these framed and hung somewhere. And finally, I joined the G.I. Joe Collectors Club. Yes, $75. There's a ton of stuff in this box. I haven't opened it yet. I can't wait to get that thing opened in a little while, but I had a nice long discussion with James Kavanaugh, so thanks, James, if you're watching this. There's lots of cool stuff planned for the club. I'm not going to mention exactly what he says, but if you want to be involved in some cool stuff and maybe want to be on the side of the cool kids that might be getting some cool stuff, you better be on this initial year of the fan club, because there's some guaranteed cool stuff if things work out and the numbers are right with the club. So I highly suggest go out, register for the fan club, pay that $75, join up, because you won't regret it. All right, so that is it. What do you think? Did I do good? Did I do bad? Overall, I don't really know how much I spent. I probably do, but if my wife watches, we're not gonna talk about that, okay? Overall, just a great experience at JoeFest. I only went on the Saturday. Every year I say, hey, why don't you just stay overnight? I only live an hour away, so it's a real easy drive. But there's so much going on, even at night there. I'm really tempted to get a hotel next year and do like the 3-day JoeFest experience, where I've only really done the Saturdays. I've been to every JoeFest and I only do the Saturdays. But I'm thinking I might do the complete thing next year. Lots of cool vendors, lots of cool toys to be seen. Even if you're not into G.I. Joe, there are lots and lots of cool vintage toys, modern toys, a little bit of things for everybody, really, if you're into pop culture at JoeFest. A lot of cool panels, Joe Declassified. There were some actors from the G.I. Joe cartoon back in the 80s that were there. That I can't remember her name. She played Zorana in the cartoon, and I'm having a brain fart right now. But she was there, and she had a panel. It was a pretty interesting panel, just talking about, you know, how they made the show, and just the times around that show, that some stories that were really kind of cool, especially if you're a Joe fan. And then, of course, all the reveals from a lot of the independent toy makers. Like, you had Valaverse there showing off all kind of cool stuff, especially that vehicle he's got coming out, and the price points where he's dropping the price on everything. Just wow. In a day where everything seems to be going up, Valaverse is dropping the price, the quality staying the same. You might really want to consider hitting up those Action Force figures if you hadn't. They're good quality figures, and dropping the price too. Ooh, and I don't know. Could it be ruffling some feathers with Hasbro? I don't know. Fresh Monkey Fiction had some great stuff. Spiro Toys had some great stuff. I love those Animal Kingdom figures. They are just awesome. But the ones that really stuck out to me were the Operation Monster Force stuff from Fresh Monkey Fiction. Those figures, the prototype figures, absolutely bonkers. They look fantastic. Believe me, if you haven't seen them, check out the G.I. Joe walkthrough video. I think they're the first kind of little snippet there that I did. Those figures are gorgeous, just in prototype form. He did have like Series 1 maybe painted, and that Wolfman looks cool. Frankenstein looks cool. You definitely want to get in on those. All right, that's it for JoeFest 2023 coverage. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next year with more coverage. But also, don't just wait till next year. Check out some more of my videos where I do action figure reviews. I hope you stick around and watch some of those. Hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it, and share this video, all the content. All right, folks, that's it for this video. God bless.